Hello, dear students. One more time, I welcome you back to EasEnglish. As usual, this is teacher Rodrigo Lazo Campo with a new lesson. Lesson 70. Lesson 70. You can say 70 in British English pronunciation or lesson 70 in the American English pronunciation. Lesson 70 in Level 1 of Curso Debutante 1. The title of this lesson is It is School Time. It is school time. It is school time. In this lesson vamos a hablar de la hora en punto. Por lo tanto, vamos a conocer algunos detalles acerca de cómo preguntar la hora en inglés, cómo decir la hora en punto en inglés y hablar de lo que los niños hacen cuando es school time. School time, tiempo de ir al colegio, tiempo de estar en el colegio, tiempo de estudiar. Como vamos a estar hablando acerca de a qué hora ocurren algunos eventos relacionados con la escuela, con el estudio, es necesario entonces que usted aprenda, si no lo sabe, a preguntar la hora en inglés. Vamos a enfatizar en esta lección acerca de dos maneras de preguntar la hora en inglés. La primera forma es, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? Y la otra forma es, what's the time? What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? What's the time? What's the time? What's the time? También quiero enseñarle que este objeto que está aquí, que estoy señalando, se llama clock. Clock. El nombre en inglés es clock. Clock. This is a clock. En este clock vamos a identificar dos partes principales, o más bien tres partes. The face, todo esto es the face of the clock. Usted ya conoce la palabra face. The face. This is the face of the clock. Y vamos a encontrar también two hands. Hands. Two hands. Como si estuviéramos hablando de partes del cuerpo humano. Una hand es esta, que es más larga. The minute hand. The minute's hand. Y la otra, la más corta, the hour hand. Una hand para leer los minutos, the minutes, expresar the minutes, y la otra hand para expresar the hour. So, here is a clock. In the clock, we are going to distinguish three parts: the face, the minute hand, and the hour hand. Y obviamente, the numbers. Numbers to read or to say the hour and the minutes. Con base en eso, vamos a estar hablando entonces de la hora en punto. The time o'clock. The hour o'clock. Is that clear? Let's get ahead. Well, let's begin. La narradora de esta lección dice que es tiempo, que es el momento para cada uno de los eventos que yo he resaltado acá en cada página. Empieza diciendo It is time for breakfast. Breakfast es la primera comida del día. In the morning. It is time for breakfast. What time is it? Look, the minute hand is at 12 and the hour hand is at 6. So it is 6 o'clock. What time is it? What time is it? Or what's the time? And the answer to this question is it's 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. Or it is 6 o'clock. Or también se puede decir the time is 6 o'clock. What time is it? It's 6 o'clock. What time is it? The time is 6 o'clock. And it is time for breakfast. Ahora yo voy a escribir entonces the time. It's 6 o'clock. Yo voy a decir para qué es el momento. It is 6 o'clock. Time for breakfast. Time for breakfast. What time is it? What's the time? It's 6 o'clock. Time for breakfast. What time is it? What's the time? It's 7 o'clock. It is time for the bus. It is time for the bus. So, it's 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock. Time for the bus. You see? At 6 o'clock, this child is having breakfast. He is taking breakfast. Let me write this. This child, this boy, is taking breakfast. Breakfast. Do you have breakfast? What time do you have breakfast? Estoy preguntando, what time usted toma su breakfast? At what time you take your breakfast? What time do you have breakfast? What time do you have breakfast? What time do you take breakfast? This boy is having breakfast. This boy is taking breakfast. This girl is taking the bus. This girl is taking the school bus. She is getting on the school bus. Let me write this. This girl is taking her school bus. She is getting on her school bus. This girl is taking her school bus. This girl is getting on her school bus. What time is it? 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Let's turn the page. Well, before turning the page, I'm going to correct a spelling mistake here. The A was missing. Yes. Good. It is school time. It is school time. La narradora pudo haber dicho también, it is time for school. It is time for school. What time is it? It's 8 o'clock. What's the time? It's 8 o'clock. I'm writing the questions. What time is it? Or, what's the time? What time is it? What's the time? It's 8 o'clock. It is school time. Or it is time for school. It's 8 o'clock. Time for school or school time. It is 8 o'clock. The time is 8 o'clock. Time for school or school time. What time is it? It's 9 o'clock. What's the time? It's 9 o'clock. It is time for reading. It is time for reading, or it is reading time. It is reading time. The time is 9 o'clock. It is, or it's 9 o'clock. Time for reading, or reading time. It is 9 o'clock, time for reading. Let's turn the page. Recess. Recess. Recess es ese espacio durante el cual los niños han dejado sus clases para jugar y para descansar y luego retornar a clases. It is recess time. It is recess time, or it is time for recess. Recess. What time is it? What's the time? What time is it? What's the time? It is 10 o'clock. The time is 10 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock, recess time, or time for recess. It is 10 o'clock, recess time, or time for recess. What time is it? It is 11 o'clock. What's the time? The time is 11 o'clock. It is time for math. 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 It is time for math, or it is math time. It is math time. What time is it? What's the time? It is 11 o'clock. Time for math. It is 11 o'clock. Time for math, or math time. It is 11 o'clock. Time for math. It is 11 o'clock. Math time. Math es esa clase, ese curso o esa materia en la que los estudiantes deal with numbers and operations. Students deal with numbers and operations. So students deal with numbers and operations in math. Now let's turn the page. It is time for lunch. It is time for lunch. Lunch es la segunda comida grande del día. Lunch. What time is it? It's 12 o'clock. What is the time? The time is 12 o'clock. It is 12 o'clock. Time for lunch. It is 12 o'clock. Time for lunch. The time is 12 o'clock. Lunch time. It is lunch time. It is time for lunch. It is 12 o'clock. Time for lunch. It is 12 o'clock, lunch time. What time is it? It's 1 o'clock. It is 1 o'clock. What is the time? The time is 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. It is 1 o'clock. It is time for music. It is music time. It is 1 o'clock, music time. It is 1 o'clock, music time. Or it is 1 o'clock, time for music. The time is 1 o'clock, time for music. The time is 1 o'clock, music time. What time is it? It's 2 o'clock. What's the time? The time is 2 o'clock. It is time for science. 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 It is time for science. It is science time. What time is it? It is 2 o'clock. Time for science. Science. It is time for science. It is time for science. Science. It is science time. What's the time? The time is 2 o'clock. It is 2 o'clock. Science time. It is 2 o'clock. Time for science. What time is it? It is 3 o'clock. It is 3 o'clock. What's the time? The time is 3 o'clock. It is 3 o'clock. Time for home. The time is 3 o'clock. Time for home. It is 3 o'clock. Time for home. So, this is the time when students, when school children get home, they get back home. They have said goodbye to school. They have said goodbye to their teachers and classmates, schoolmates, school friends, and now they get home to see father, mother, brothers, sisters, and in short, all their family. A continuación voy a describir lo que es un día escolar típico de un niño cualquiera de este colegio de esta lección. Para ello voy a tener en cuenta la información que hemos manejado a lo largo de la lección y voy a escoger un niño cualquiera de sexo masculino. Usted puede elegir una niña. Repito que usted puede optar por hablar acerca de una niña si así lo desea. Hagámoslo. Here we are. A typical day at school. At 6 o'clock, the boy has breakfast. He takes the school bus at 7 o'clock. Pude haber dicho también, he goes to school at 7 o'clock. He starts school at 8 o'clock. He reads at 9. He has recess at 10 o'clock. At 11, he has math class. He takes lunch at 12 o'clock. He has music class at 1. At 2 o'clock, he has science, and he gets back home at 3. He gets back home at 3. Ok. Ahora voy a adoptar el rol de ese niño. Voy a imaginar que yo soy ese niño y entonces describiré my typical day at school. Recuerdo, voy a tomar el rol de ese niño y describiré a typical day at school. Here we are. Repito que yo estoy tomando el lugar de ese niño y hablo como si fuera yo él. At 6 o'clock, I have breakfast. I take the school bus at 7 o'clock. I start school at 8 o'clock. I read at 9. I have recess at 10 o'clock. At 11, I have math class. I take lunch at 12 o'clock. I have music class at 1. At 2 o'clock, I have science. I get back home at 3. Ahora voy a hacer lo mismo. Voy a cambiar el texto, el último texto, incluyendo los sequencing words. Sequencing words, palabras que indican la secuencia de los eventos. Here is the final text. Let's read it. First, at 6 o'clock, I have breakfast. Second, I take the school bus at 7 o'clock. Third, I start school at 8 o'clock. Then, I read at 9. Next, I have recess at 10 o'clock. Later, at 11, I have math class. After that, I take lunch at 12 o'clock. Next, I have music class at 1. Then, at 2 o'clock, I have science. Last, I get back home at 3. Note que he resaltado los sequencing words. Aquí, en este enunciado, pude haber dicho I go to school at 7 o'clock, en lugar de decir I take the school bus at 7 o'clock. Well, now we are moving on to the activities. Well, we are going to have only 2 activities in this lesson, and this is activity 1. There are 3 pictures you can see, and it is necessary that you put these 3 pictures in the correct order in which they happen in the story. So the question is, which picture comes first, which picture comes next, and which picture comes last? Yeah, look at the pictures and you do it. Usted puede hacerlo hablando acerca de which picture comes first, which picture comes next, and which picture comes last. Hable acerca de esto, recordando el contenido de la lección. Yo voy a arrastrar cada una de estas imágenes al lugar de la tabla que le corresponde y luego diré por qué y usted me acompañará en esta actividad. Hagámoslo. Well, here are the pictures in the correct order. Y sigo considerando el mismo boy del ejercicio anterior. And I can say that first, the boy has breakfast. Next, he has recess. And last, he has math. A continuación voy a escribirlo. Here you are. First, the boy has breakfast. Next, he has recess. Last, he has math. Aquí he hecho énfasis en el boy. La prioridad ha sido el boy. Ahora voy a expresar lo mismo, pero haré énfasis en los eventos y en la hora a la cual cada evento ocurre. Así. First, it is breakfast time at 6 o'clock. Next, it is recess time at 10 o'clock. Last, it is time for math at 11 o'clock. Voy a escribirlo también. Here we are. First, it is time for breakfast at 6 o'clock. Next, it is time for recess at 10 o'clock. Last, it is time for math at 11 o'clock. Puede haber algunas variantes respecto de lo que dije, pero se puede comparar las dos formas o las formas diferentes en que lo dije y lo he escrito, pero al final todo significa exactamente lo mismo. Antes de terminar esta actividad, quiero enseñarle un tipo de pregunta, uno de los muchos tipos posibles de preguntas para conocer la hora en la que ocurre un evento, como los eventos referidos en esta lección. Y la pregunta es, when is lunch? When is breakfast? Este espacio es para el objeto sobre el cual usted está preguntando o el evento sobre el cual usted está preguntando. Y tengo preguntas como when is breakfast? When is recess? When is lunch? When is music? When is math class? Etc. Entonces déjeme formular completamente algunas de esas preguntas. When is recess? When is breakfast? When is math class? When is music? When is music class? When is time for home? Etc. ¿Okay? Responda usted a esas preguntas. When is recess? When is breakfast? When is math? When is music class? When is time for home? Aquí faltó una M. When is time for home? Y faltó también the question mark. When is time for home? Este when, esta palabra when, se usa siempre que queremos saber información acerca del tiempo, sea en horas, la hora exacta, sea el mes o el año, el momento exacto en el que ocurren los eventos. Para este caso, la pregunta se responde en términos de la hora a la cual ocurren esos eventos. Por ejemplo, when is breakfast? Aquí podemos recordar que breakfast is at 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock. When is time for recess? Or when is recess? At 10 o'clock. When is math? At 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock. Well, this is the last activity in the lesson. And there are some pictures, 10 pictures exactly. And the activity is about words beginning in the T sound, as in total. Total. Total begins in T, in the T sound. We are going to name the objects in these pictures and find which names begin in T sound and which names do not begin in T sound. After naming the pictures, we're going to make the two sentences, the two kinds of sentences about words beginning in T sounds, and sentences about words that do not begin in the T sound. Now, let's do it. First, we are going to name the pictures. Turtle. Turtle. This is a turtle. Tape. Tape. This is tape. Fox. Fox. This is a fox. Rug. Rug. This is a rug. Pig. Pig. This is a pig. Tub. Tub. This is a tub. Tooth. Tooth. This is a tooth. Tiger. Tiger. This is a tiger. Dog. Dog. This is a dog. Man. Man. This is a man. Got it? Ahora voy a escribir los nombres en uno de los dos costados de la pantalla, después de haber enumerado los objetos para que los identifiquemos conforme sus números. Y después procederemos a escribir los enunciados de words that begin in T sound and words that do not begin in T sound. Here are the words, and here are the numbers next to each picture. Number 1 is a turtle. Number 2 is tape. Number 3 is a fox. Number 4 is a rug. Number 5 is a pig. Number 6 is a tub. Number 7 is a tooth. Tooth is singular for one, pero dos o más se dice teeth. Aquí vemos varios teeth. Dentro de esta boca se está mostrando varios teeth. One tooth, y se está señalando solo one tooth. Number 8 is a tiger. Number 9 is a dog. And number 10 is a man. A man. Now, I'm going to make the sentences. Usted hágalas también, por favor. Here are the two sentences. Turtle, tape, tub, tooth, and tiger begin in T sound. But fox, rug, pig, dog, and man do not begin into sound. Okay, my dear students, this is all for this lesson. I hope to talk to you again next time. Goodbye.